My name is Eitan Chatayat, and welcome to I'm That podcast, where I get to talk to some pretty incredible people. Some are friends and colleagues, some are clients, and some are people I haven't even met yet. On I'm That, we'll hear from them about who they are, what they do and why, stuff they love or hate, mistakes they've made, victories they've had. They're all known for something, but by the time we're through, the hope is they'll have revealed some things we didn't know about them. Our talk may be deep, profound, funny, who knows really. One thing for sure, it'll be interesting and honest. So if you're up for that, thank you for joining me on I'm That, and here we go. Yechiel Jacobs has a day job, a real estate investor in Florida. But what most people know him for is how he makes so many people cry with laughter on Instagram about some very serious Jewish subjects. He's only 22 years old, he's fearless, funny as shit, and his comedic star is rising as he captivates audiences on and offline with his one-of-a-kind approach. Now, he asks the tough questions and skewers the people promoting the lies and hypocrisy about Israel and the Jewish people. And he doesn't stand for the craziness that's running rampant today. He doesn't hold back and has no fear when it comes to the haters. He just uses his unforgettable voice to get straight to the heart of any issue, break it down, and give his hilarious take on what's really happening. One of the things I personally love about Yechiel, who I've met, and he's even come over and hung out with my family, is his absolute unique ability to be funny and use comedy so powerfully to spark conversations and awareness about what's happening to the Jewish people and to Israel. That voice, his physicality, his fearlessness, all combined with intense smarts and funny to make you laugh out loud. It isn't funny to make people laugh about some very unfunny subjects, but he's able to. He's not afraid to put himself out there and represent the Jewish people. And hey, did I mention, again, he's only 22. Yechiel, I love you, man. I'm so happy that we're finally getting to do this after so many scheduling shit things. So, hey.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. So happy that we made it happen. This is awesome. Super excited for this.
When you say that, you say you're so happy, and all I can think about is you doing a Trump impression. I'm so happy.
We're so happy. We're the happiest. No one's happier than I am. I need to work on the Trump impression.
No, it's good. It's good. Listen, man, it's nice to see you. It was so nice to see you when you were here in Israel. And I love that you're wearing my little necklace.
Represent.
No one can see it right now, but he's wearing the Star of One necklace, which is just makes my day. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank God. I'm doing very well. A lot going on, which we're going to get to in the podcast. But thank God I'm doing very well.
Well, good. We are going to get into a lot of things. But the first thing that we'll do is what I usually do, which is I'm just going to ask you the traditional question on this podcast. And all you need to do is really complete the sentence. And then we'll just take it from there. So, Yechiel Jacobs, please complete this sentence. I'm that.
Make people laugh through the darkness while bringing facts due.
Wow. Did you practice that, or that just
on Instagram?
On Instagram. Yeah, that was great.
Other one is just happy to be a Jew. I think that's I think me off of social media. If I get to choose two, I don't know if this is allowed, but I'd be breaking the rules. The second one would be happy to be a Jew.
Why would that? Why would that? Of course. I mean, I think that's what, look, you're a funny guy, but I think what people really, really love about you is, besides the fact that you make them just laugh, is you're very, very proud and you strengthen. But I want to hear from you. I mean, you've been on a lot of podcasts, so maybe just you can just briefly kind of talk about how you started doing this. But then I really want to get into why you do this and go a little deeper, because not to hog, we haven't started yet, and I'm already just. I think one of the nicest and the strongest posts you ever made was when people saw you seriously, and it was after your visit here in Israel, and you did a very serious, very just you, not making people laugh, and I think a lot of people felt that, and the objective of this podcast and this conversation is really to allow people to understand the man behind the humor. So over to you.
All right. So I got started. You want me to give you a rundown how it started? A quick little background. So it got started that I wasn't on social media, or I was never a comedian officially. I was never legally a comedian. And then October 7th happens, and obviously it was like, it's like the 9/11 of now, where everyone remembers where they were. So at that point, the October 7th happens, and there's so much going on. And on top of all the negativity and the horror that we just experienced, which is crazy, we start seeing all these videos going around that are blatantly false, complete lies, and filled with hatred and anti-Semitism and anti-Israel. And it was bothering me so much, like to like another level, that I'm like someone has to do something about this. And I wasn't feeling like there were videos going around that I've seen that I felt people really addressed the issues or even got at these people that were spreading the lies. So I'm like, you know what? I'll do it. And at this point, I was doing this impersonation, the guy who talks like this, the Italian New Yorker, that impersonation.
Sebastian, isn't it Sebastian?
Sebastian Maniscalco. Yeah, Sebastian. So I was doing that impersonation, and I figured, let me do this impersonation. But as a response to some of these crazy videos that we're seeing, add a little bit of humor, but at the same time, that character, that personality also has a very good way of like putting people in their place. So I did it. And then the first video, thank God, really went. And then from there, I did another video, and here I am now.
Wait, so when you did that first video, did you think, this is good? I was going to get some eyeballs on this one.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking like, okay, this is going to go viral. It was more like, it was almost like therapy for myself to feel like I'm doing something, even though I didn't have a following on Instagram then. I wasn't like a social media personality or anything like that.
Really?
It was more just...
You didn't have anything?
No. I mean, I had I had 800 followers on Instagram prior to October 7th, like a private account where I'd post just like going out for lunch with friends or nothing comical or anything like that. And then this one, just that video was like the first video I've done in response to what's going on with the Israel stuff. And that video just went, and I wasn't expecting it to be like a whole thing. Like I sent it to friends and family. I wanted them to see it, but thank God it got out there. And like in a week, it hit like 300,000 views, which is crazy. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, there's something here. And like I'm getting the feedback from this. People are like, I haven't laughed since October 7th. Thank you so much for this. I'm getting private messages. I'm getting all of a sudden this like massive wave of positive. Obviously, there's a lot of negative, but I was looking at the positive comments, and the feedback was incredible. I'm like, I need to do more of this. And I felt great on a selfish level for myself. I'm like, this felt great for me. Like I'm getting at these people who are lying about my people and lying about my country and making fun of the horrors that just happened to my people. I get it. I actually have a voice now. So I'm like, let me do it. And then I just kept putting out more videos.
So tell me about the second one, because when I'm a creative, we're creatives in different ways, but when something goes viral, and some of my work's gone viral, there's this pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever feel like, okay, you've done the first one, 300,000 views, then you're like, okay, I got to make a second. What was that like?
So right away, I went into like, one of the biggest things that I do, like personality wise, is my biggest fear is to miss an opportunity. It really is my biggest fear. I genuinely, like anytime I have an opportunity, I want to make sure I'm maxing out the potential here. I'm like, wow, like I have momentum right now. This video works. It's getting out there. It's making like a difference. People are smiling. People are laughing. We're getting like information out there. Let me do another video. So right away, I'm like, okay, what can I do? And I'm going on TikTok. I'm looking at all these like anti-Israel videos. Who can I respond to? And my second video is actually, it was a very funny video. It was me and my sister. We're in the car. It was actually her idea to actually go. It was a video of someone drinking an iced coffee. And it was from a place that it wasn't Starbucks. It was like a non-genocide supporting company, and they're drinking, and they're asking each other like, "Oh, this is a drink that doesn't taste like genocide." And then me and my sister right away we went to Starbucks because they're claiming Starbucks is pro-Israel, which in and of itself the whole thing was confusing, and Israel's doing genocide. So we right away went to Starbucks. We got ourselves like frappuccinos, and we're drinking the Starbucks thing. And I look at my sister, I'm like, "Does yours taste like genocide?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Mine doesn't either taste like genocide." And like we're going through the whole thing. Short, cute video. That one released 500,000 views. It was like,
wow.
Whoa, it's crazy. And then, I just kept doing it.
You know what was amazing about what you said? To me, it wasn't the story, which is just brilliant. It's the fact that you said that you're the type of person that doesn't like, the thing that you really dislike is to miss an opportunity. And I can understand that from someone who's in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, my age. And I'm not saying this in a patronizing way, because you know that I love you and you know that I think you're brilliant, but fuck me, man, you're 22 years old.
Yeah, I mean, just turned 23.
When
yes.
23. So what opportunities have you in your life, like, do you hate to miss? Because I get what you're saying, but like, I want people to know you. Like, you're a real estate agent. You finished did you finish high school Then what?
Yeah, so I finished high school. I'm a real estate investor.
Investor.
And so for me, it's all relative. It's all relative. Obviously, I can't know what it's like to be in my 40s with old. Obviously, the older I get, I'll be like, there's so much more opportunity I could, But with everything's relative, and in my eyes, I can only compare it to my life, which I've had. I'm 23 years old, but within my life, I've had opportunities. Not saying necessarily big ones or anything like life changing, but I've had some big opportunities that anytime it was given to me, I would take full advantage of it. Whether it was in real estate, as an example, I had an opportunity to get involved in real estate investing. I bought my first property at 19 years old, and I was able to do that from seeing an opportunity of like, wow, I had the opportunity that was given to me where I had money saved up, whatever it was, and we had family friends investing in certain areas, and my parents were getting involved, and I had an opportunity to actually invest and get involved. Or I could have gone the traditional route and go to college and been like more just, okay, let's get my 9-to-5 job or whatever it is. That was something that I jumped on. And then the opportunity was given to me that I would continue investing. It wasn't one's enough. It's okay, what's next? What's next with that? It's never like, okay, I have this, my goal's done, I'm finished. It's okay, I have this, which opens up other doors. Let me take advantage of this, this, and this. That's always been my mindset. And yeah, I'm only 23, but I'm always looking to take advantage of an opportunity that's given to me.
Well, I think that what's really special about Yechiel is and when we met in Israel and we sat down and we had a coffee or whatever, and then afterwards I wanted to write something that kind of like summed up what my impression was of you. I don't remember exactly what I wrote, but you're wise beyond your years.
Thank you.
You really are. That wasn't an easy question, and again, I hope that it wasn't taken as me saying, hey, you're only 22.
Yeah, not at all.
And you're 23. You're only 23, and yet the way that you speak and the way that you think, I think, is not typical of a 23-year-old. And one of the things when we sat down and we spoke was about your vision. And I remember us talking about like what's next. I mean, and I know that we're just starting the podcast, but I actually think that it's fascinating to me about how when we spoke, you're already thinking about what's next. You're thinking about your career. And we can talk about that a little later. But the one thing that I want to ask is why? Why are you doing this? I mean, of course, you went viral, and it's a rush. I mean, it's a little addictive, but and we know that you feel that you're serving your people, and you are, and you're strengthening. But what's it like to make people laugh?
Making people laugh is probably one of the greatest feelings for me that I've ever experienced. It's like, I mean, any comedian will tell you is like the most enjoyment they'll get is being up on stage and just landing a joke and just having the reaction of people laughing, and it's like it's probably one of the most validating feelings you can have, because it's something that you've come up with a joke or you've come up with an idea and you find it funny and you're working on it, and then you actually deliver it and you're making people smile, making people happy. There's two sides to it. There's a selfish side to it, and then there's more like the for other people's side to it. The selfish side to it is, on a selfish level, is one of the greatest feelings. I feel so good about myself. I just made so many people laugh. People think what I'm saying or the idea that I had is a funny idea. That's great. It's such a great feeling. And then there's the side to it, which is why I was so pushing from October 7th, was the side of people are actually happier now or on a high or having a better day now because I said something or did something that made them smile, that made them laugh, that they can, like my page. I've gotten so many people that go to my page whenever they're feeling down. Like my page is like where they go to smile. That's like a crazy thing. That's an amazing feeling on a selfish level, and also on not a selfish level. Just I'm so happy that I'm able to make other people smile and make other people have a better day, or just, get people a little less depressed, or, something like that, which is so rewarding.
Like, have you always been funny?
I think so. Yeah, I've always been like the class, not like class clown, but I'd always joke around. I'd always do like different accents or funny bits, like by the Shabbat table or like family friends. Like I'd always, in my school we had like a little skit that we did, and I was like very involved in that. Like I always had like the personality to, I loved it.
One of the things that I wanted to ask you about is your mother, because I met your mom. She's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a performer.
Yes.
I mean, she's a performer. And one of the questions I have for you is like, who's been a big influence in your life? And I'm asking you that question also, not just about your mother, but I know for a fact that your mother has had a profound she's had a profound impact on your life.
Yeah.
Was she the one that kind of, like, in terms of performing and artistry, and I'm just guessing, will you tell me?
Yeah. Yeah, so my mother's anyone who knows my mom, she's absolutely hilarious. She has an incredible personality and she has an incredible stage presence. Like she's always been a performer. She's a actress and her sense of humor, she's always making people laugh. So I definitely get a lot
She's
of
a
it.
dancer. She's a
That
dancer. I
yeah.
went to see her. I went to see Kosha Dills perform
Yeah.
with her, and all of a sudden, I look at her because we met before for dinner, and then
Yeah.
she's just like she's just hip. She's just dancing right. She's like 15 years old. She's just dancing. She's just
Yeah.
busting moves left, right, and center.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
she's incredible. She's a young soul and she's very, very talented. And I get so much of what I have is I know it's from that. And also my father as well is he's a magician. He's a performer.
Oh,
That my first stage I've ever been on was performing with my dad in shows. Like I've had experience performing through that as well. Like like just doing magic shows. I'd be in the magic. Me and my sister were in his magic shows. So that also has a bit on it as well. But definitely my parents for sure is where this comes from. Definitely. Like they
well,
bred me for this.
well, you're definitely an amazing and natural entertainer. But who else has been a big influence on you? And it doesn't need to be someone you know personally. Anyone. Just
Yeah.
like comedians, actors, philosophers. I mean, I don't know who inspires you.
I'll be honest, it's an interesting question. People ask me that, and I don't have obviously on a personal level. My parents they're definitely to where I am now, and my personality and all that stuff. I know it comes from them. As far as like someone that I looked up to, like I want to be like this person, or I want to. I've never had somebody that like that. I don't know why. There's no person like right now. Like let's say I'm trying to grow. I don't have like a person that's my goal. Like I want to be like this person right now. Even like Sebastian, where the voice comes from, and obviously an inspiration for the character and the voice, and that comes from Sebastian. But as far as being like him as being my role model for where I want to be or what I want to get to, that's not what I don't connect to that. For me, it's just I want to be the best me in the future. I just don't have somebody specific that it's like that's the person I want to be, or that's the for me it's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I find it as like a limitation or just I don't relate to anybody on a certain level of like where I want to be. Like I haven't seen somebody like that person right there is the person that I want to be in 20 years from now. So I haven't found that.
That's interesting. You talked about the future right now, and maybe now that's a bit of a segue to like where are you going with all of this? Because I feel like, and I love your shit. It's just it's just great.
Thank you.
But sometimes I feel has he boxed himself into a corner? He's got this character, and you and I have spoken about that. But maybe it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to speak about it with the people,
Yeah. For the people.
for the
Yeah.
people.
So that's definitely a concern. Right off the bat in the very beginning was like, okay, I'm doing this character. It's hilarious, but I don't want to be known as just this character because I have more to offer and there's more that I do. So I've been gradually, and it's something that I thought about. So I've been gradually in like different bits. Every like third video I'd post, you'll notice the voice is not even in it. Like the how you doing voice is not even in the video. It's I'm doing a complete separate character. I'm very into this like very Israel's doing a genocide character. You know that one with the rainbow wig. So I'm kind of like going into other characters as well. I'm starting to do more accents. I've done a lot of like Spanish, a little bit of like a German accent, like just to like throw here and there. Like, hey guys, by the way, I can also do this, this, and this. Yechiel Jacobs is the person, and then one of my characters is this Italian voice that I do, or this that I do, and that's something in my shows as well. I'm starting to like, speaking in my regular voice for a majority of the show, and then I'll bring in the accent or the character.
Yeah, it's interesting because it was pretty recent, right, that you started doing actual stand-up on stage. I mean, it was like a month ago or a month and a half?
Yeah, I think I started doing stand-up comedy like 3 minutes ago. About 3 minutes. I literally just started. Like stand-up comedy is probably like 2.5 months old. I did my first first ever stand-up I did was in LA at the LA Laugh Factory. And it was more like, hey, they were having a bunch of like pro-Israel comedians do a bit all together in LA. And then they reached out to me like, hey, you want to do a bit? And I'm like, I've never done like stand-up before, but yeah, let's do it. This ties into the wanting to make sure I don't miss out on any opportunities. So I'm like, okay, this is a whole new world. This is super exciting. Let's do it. And I did it. I did like a 15-minute set in LA, first ever stand-up comedy show. And I did it with Elon Gold and Joe Coy, who's a massive comedian, just happened to show up that night. And he was on 2 before me. He went on. He performed for like the Golden Globes, like a legend. And I'm like doing my first ever stand-up, and I'm performing after him, Elon Gold, and then this kid, Yechiel Jacobs, comes up. I'm like, how's everybody doing? And then I just do like my bit, and then I'm like, okay,
Yeah, but you crushed
it
it,
was
didn't you?
crazy. Thank God it was amazing. I happened to have gotten a standing ovation after that, which was crazy. It was
Wow.
so crazy. I'm like, this is what I want to do, and like, and I've just been pushing. And then we did New York, and I have Canada coming up. A lot going on.
Wow. So you mentioned Elon Gold. I know Elon. He's an absolute mensch. He's just such a good
Yes.
guy. You know, he's seasoned. He's a comedian. Did he help? Did he mentor? Did he kind of like just, I don't know, support? I imagine he did.
Definitely supportive. Definitely supportive. Yeah, for me, it was like performing. It was right away after the show. I was like looking for Elon, like just to see his face. Like, how did I do? You know. And then I remember he came with him. He's like, you killed it, kid. Like, you know. And I'm like, yes. You know, that was sick. It was so cool. So yeah, he's been great. He's been absolutely great. And he's incredible. Like to watch him perform. He's a great person to be like, okay, look, let's see how he interacts with the crowd, the waiting period, the jokes, everything about it is great way to learn is by watching him. We actually did a show together in Connecticut. Like I opened for him in Connecticut, which was super cool. He had like a full set, and I did like a 10-minute intro, like emceed for it. It was really, really cool.
That's amazing. Like, kind of like the world has kind of like opened up for you all of a sudden. Like, who would have thought?
Yeah.
I imagine you think like 10 months ago, who would have thought this? And that's the crazy thing about what we've all been going through as the Jewish people is we've gone through an immense tragedy, but at the same time, there has been a silver lining too, and you're experiencing it with a lot of hard work. It's not just like it just happened to you. You're working your butt off, and it's hard. And I don't think that people understand. I know you enjoy it, Yechiel. I know that you love what you do, but it's hard. It's hard to come up with ideas. It's hard to put them down. It's hard to perform them. But like, even when I look at the bloopers that you do, you so enjoy it. You so enjoy it. You're so in your
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. Thank God. I feel I feel so lucky, and like, I feel very grateful, very, very grateful that I can do something that I genuinely love.
So, what is the vision? What is on the horizon? Where are you going with all of this?
So there's no like exact vision board, like in 10 years I'm gonna end up here. But the strategy throughout this whole thing has just been grow, grow, grow. And like just I've been saying yes to any opportunity I get. I've just been saying yes. Like whatever I get is just to say yes. Stand-up comedy is definitely a route that I'm going in heavy on right now to do more shows and to get more comfortable with stand-up and to, develop my set. And content creation for me is the greatest, most enjoyable thing I can do. Even more than stand-up. I love stand-up comedy and it's amazing. But for me, making like a good piece of content with good, like with the edits and the actual coming up with the lines and the waiting, that whole process of from editing to getting the idea to acting it out, for me, it's like, it's so enjoyable. I love that. And I want to keep doing it.
You're just, I mean, people can't see because this is audio, but you're smiling your ass off when you're he's just like smiling.
Yeah.
I know that you worked with Michael Rappaport. I mean, I think you did a bit with him in the car or something.
Yeah. Michael's awesome. Michael's absolutely awesome. We did a video together. We did two videos together, and he showed up in the back of the Tesla. It was a lot of fun. And Michael's been incredible. Like it's very cool to see someone who's very genuine about what they're doing. Because in this thing, there are a lot of people that might not, have the right intentions. Michael's one of the people that his intentions are 100%, and he's so caring, and he's so like I was in Israel, and he would just check up, how are you enjoying Israel? How's it going? I'm so happy that you're there. It's so good to see that you're there. Like just genuinely involved and genuinely cares about Israel and what's going on, and he's been awesome. So shout out to Michael.
Yeah. Well, you brought up something interesting. It was one of my questions, which is, what do you think about the Jewish kind of like influencer scene, and what do you like about it and what do you not like about it? We can talk about it, but I couldn't agree more with you about Michael Rappaport, because I don't know him. I met him once, very, very briefly, and then with the "I'm That Jew" campaign, there was a bit of back and forth. But he's really genuine. He's like, and he looks like a mensch. He's in it for the right reasons, and he's fighting so hard. And I can imagine everything that you just said about him. It just kind of makes sense that he would do that for you. He's great. So yeah, but I mean, what do you think about this weird Jewish influencer celebrities online kind of like scene? I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think first of all, I think it's amazing. And I'll tell you why I'm saying I think it's absolutely amazing, because it was kind of like forcibly created where it's like all of a sudden all these people that have, first of all, anyone who was already on social media, or also a lot of people that weren't even a social media personality suddenly became it, because the main reason why everything is happening, or the core reason, was like October 7th happened and social media, we're getting destroyed on social media. We need to come together and we need to fight back. That's what it is. On a surface level, that's what it is. It's everyone's fighting back in the social media war. So every single person that's on our side is an absolute gem. And I think it's amazing to see us all come together. And I appreciate every single person that's on social media, whether you have 5,000 followers, 4,000 followers, 2 million followers, every single person that's putting in the work and putting in the effort. It's an incredible community. And I'm grateful for every single person. So in that sense, it's absolutely amazing. And it's super cool to meet all these amazing personalities. And you find out when you, like, for example, your campaign, the I'm That Jew campaign, there are so many different Jews. Like there's so many different types of Jews. It's crazy. It's not like we're not all like, tuna bagel, payas going down, wearing tzitzis. We're so many different personalities. And I see it firsthand in the social media world. Well, you have a religious Jew, you'll have a black Jew, you'll have a Mexican Jew, you'll have so many different types of Jews. And that's amazing to see that there's so many different types. And for all of us to come together and like with one goal of standing up and protecting our people is incredible.
Anything you don't like about it?
I don't want to focus on, there's always in the social media world, like I don't like the word, I don't like the term like influencer, because I think it comes with a little bit of there's a negative, I don't know why, I feel like there's a little bit of a negative that comes along with that. Like I'm an Instagram influencer, I'm an Instagram personality. I don't know, because I think it's like associated a little bit with fake, or with, pretending to be somebody on social media and then doing this. But I think in this world, it's on a surface level, it's the reason why we're doing what we're doing is to stand up for our people on social media. Now, obviously there are situations, there are cases where people are, don't have the right reasons or don't have the right intention. But at the end of the day, if you're putting out content out there that supports the truth and supports humanity, I have nothing bad to say about it. That's my personality.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting world that we've been thrown into, because you brought up I'm That Jew, but there are all sorts of Jewish people. And what's interesting is sometimes you see, okay, well, here's a Republican Jew and here's a Democratic Jew, or here's a Bibi supporting Jew and here's a Gantz supporting Jew. So we're not all as united as we think we are. But I think that what we're trying to do is try to fight as Jewish people. That comes first right now, all hands on deck. And so long as no one is hating, and there are some haters out there. I mean, there are. I'm talking about like Jewish people who hate what Israel is doing, or Jewish people who refute their Judaism. To me, those people are not great to have around right now.
Right. Yeah.
I'm putting it very diplomatically.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, it's just interesting. We've made very interesting bedfellows, because if it wasn't for what happened, then I think that there would be a lot less unity. And I think we need more.
Yeah.
You live in Florida.
Yes.
And are you there right now?
I'm actually in New York. I'm in New York. I have a friend of mine just got engaged, so I flew in for the day.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to ask you some very silly questions. Some of them are Jewish related. Some of them are not. But I think it's just spitfire. It's just kind of like and talk about any one of these as much as you want. So I'm just going to go for it. Okay.
Sure.
Hummus or trina?
Trina. It's hard. It's hard. For me, it's both. When I'm thinking hummus and trina, the first thing that comes to my mind is shawarma. And for me, if you don't have either one in a shawarma, for me, it's not the same. You need both.
I just love it. Hummus or trina, and you say both. That's just
Am
a
I
great
allowed to
start.
do that?
I don't know. There are no rules here. The funny thing is, then you said shawarma,
yes.
And my next question is falafel or shawarma.
Shawarma.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Surprises me.
Don't hate me. I'm not a big falafel guy.
Wow. Okay, so two things. Next time you come to Israel, now I got to take you to the best falafel place in Tel Aviv. That's on me. All right. Bill Burr or Chris Rock?
Don't make fun of me, but who's Bill Burr?
Oh, shut up. Are you serious?
I'm so bad with names. I for sure know who this person is.
Okay. This is a scoop. That
I for sure know who this person is.
No, you don't.
I for sure do. I'm just not clicking.
I'm not editing this out either. This is okay. So Bill Burr is American comedian. I think he's from New York.
For sure know who he is.
And the first couple of shows that I watched, Like I sat down with a friend of mine, English guy, and his wife, my wife, who you've met. We went over, and they're like, we're just chit chatting, and they're like, Bill Burr, and I'm like, who's Bill Burr? This was a few years ago, and he goes, okay, and he just went straight to the TV, and he found some bits on YouTube,
Yeah.
and we were weeping. We were weeping. The
I have
guy
to check him
is
out.
amazing. No, Bill Burr is just amazing. He's brutal. He's brutal. He's fucking brutal. He's amazing. You got to
Yeah.
watch him. Okay, so you have no idea. So it's got to be Chris Rock, which is a bit of a shame.
I for sure know.
Disappointed.
If I see a picture of Bill Burr, I have a feeling I'm gonna be like, "Oh, Bill Burr." One second, let me search up really quickly.
Yeah, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this right now. He's looking for it online right now.
Of course, I know him. He's hilarious. I promise you, I do. He's a very, very funny guy, and I would probably go Bill Burr. I honestly, I mean it. Seem like I'm like, oh yeah, I just know. No, I actually know who he is. He's hilarious. But I'm very bad.
Really? You know,
who's Chris Rock? I'm kidding.
I don't know if I buy it. You know, we'll have to talk about it later. Okay. Next question. We'll move swiftly on. Summer or winter?
Summer.
Desert or mountains?
Mountains.
Beach or city?
Beach.
Do you exercise?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah. Why do you seem so surprised?
I don't know. You're tall and you're kind of like tall and lanky.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what it is. So before this whole thing happened, I work out every single day, and then this whole October 7th thing happened, and now I'm doing content like nonstop. And for me, I'm very fixated on the content that my schedule is like unhealthily just content that I stopped working out. I stopped playing tennis. Like it became my life. And now I'm starting to get back into it. And I started working out again, getting back to the shape that I need to be in. So the answer is yes, I do work out.
You look all right, mate. You look all right. Okay. this is kind of like this is an interesting one. So think about it. Describe Israelis in one word.
Genuine.
Okay. Now describe Americans in.
If there's a word that mixes blunt and genuine together, it's that word. That's to describe Israelis. Like rudely genuine.
Blenuin.
They're very blenuin.
You're very blenuin. Okay, and now describe Americans in one word.
American, there's just so there's so many different. I feel like there are more different types of Americans than there are like Israelis. Like the Israeli personality and the American personality is more a little bit more soft.
Soft?
But it's difficult because it depends what you look at. You could look at like the very liberal American that everything hurts my feelings and I don't like the way you're smelling at me. And then you have the Americans that are like, America, I'm going to kill you. You know what I mean? So it's like two different personalities there.
You know what's funny? So you know Matan Peretz?
Sure.
Okay, have you met him?
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's so great. So he was just on the podcast and I asked him the same question. And I just thought it was really interesting because he looked at me when I said Israeli and he said, unapologetic. And then I said, what do you think about Americans? Yeah, and Americans. And he looked at me and goes, exactly. That's brilliant. And we both started laughing because it was so on.
That's good.
So have you performed I don't think you haven't performed in Israel, right? Like
Not yet.
Okay, because one of my questions was the difference between an American and an Israeli audience. And that'll be interesting to ask you down the road. I think I know the answer to the next question, but you know what they say about people who assume. Are you optimistic or pessimistic?
Definitely optimistic.
All right, so let me ask you another question. The situation that we're in, I imagine that you're optimistic about that situation too?
What was that?
And like the situation that we're in right now, are you optimistic about that too?
I'm optimistic in the sense. So my definition of being optimistic is not being like not realistic. Like the situation we're in is a very sad and can be a very scary and intimidating situation. I'm optimistic in the sense that I believe that it's going to pass. I'm optimistic in the sense that I believe the Jewish people have gotten so close because of this, and we need to continue doing it. And I believe we can. So I mean, I'm optimistic in the sense that I think we can handle. I know we can handle the situation that we're in.
So let me ask you this. And look, you're a really nice guy and you're very smart. You're very bright. You're very funny, but don't chicken out of this answer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the question. What bothers you about what we as a collective, the Jewish people, are not doing right in this situation, in the situation of the past couple of decades? Like some hard truths from you. Like what's fucked up about what we're doing, not our enemies and what they're doing, but what's the problem that we need to fix, in your opinion?
First thing that comes to my mind is we're so quick to going back to the way things were, meaning we're so quick to going back to being divided. Because like we said, there's a lot of different Jews and there's a lot of different opinions. And when times are good, the Jewish people are not very good at coming together. Like when it comes to times being tough, the Jewish people are excellent at coming together and being one big family. I said it a bunch of times that the state of Israel is one of the smallest countries in the world, but the Jewish people are one of the biggest families in the world. That we are the biggest family in the world. That is the reality. And when times are tough, we come together like a family and it's absolutely incredible. But when times start getting better or time passes and we start to forget, we go back to that original thing where we care more about our differences, and these petty little things make us hate each other, and we're going back to bashing each other, making fun of each other and focusing on the negative. I think we're very quick to do that. And what I'm hoping, the optimistic part of me, what I'm hoping I know we can do is take the togetherness that we're feeling right now and launch it, because B'ezrat Hashem, when all this goes away and we get our hostages back and the war's over and we get rid of our enemies and things are good, we need to carry that togetherness and that unity that we have throughout the good times as well.
So how do we do that?
By remembering the feeling that we feel right now, which is what we try to do. I feel like this is like the vicious cycle that we're in. You had the Holocaust, you had the Spanish Inquisition, you have all these things where I feel like it's God's like, I'm not one to say why things happen, but what it seems like is God, like the Jewish people, we start getting very divided and times are good. And we start we start forgetting who we are as a people. And then God comes along and something crazy happens, like the Holocaust or the Spanish Inquisition or October 7th. And they're like, oh my gosh, the only people that are going to protect the Jewish people are the Jewish people. We need each other and we come together. And then we come together and we solve the issue, or we come together and things get better or whatever it is. And then we go back to square one where things are good. And then we go back to dividing. So I think the solution is to remember this feeling that we feel of like, wow, we need each other, and to carry that out through the good times. That's what I think.
I think that when I said that you're wise beyond your years, it's really moving to hear a young, and I'm sorry that I sound like such a patronizing dick. That's really not where I'm coming from, mate. But it's really moving to hear someone so young in terms of years speak with such wisdom. And it makes me immensely proud to know you and to see that because what you're wearing around your neck, the Star of One necklace that I made, that's exactly what it's all about. We're a Star of One. And I think, and I've said this before, I just interviewed some American college students who are visiting here in Israel, and I'm making a short film about them. Immediately after I finished the shoot, I told the director and the producer that I want to get on camera, unscripted, and I just sat in front of the camera and I just spoke into the camera about how inspired I was and how I feel that we're in very good hands, because I think your generation gets it. You've seen life for what it is, and you understand not just the importance of fighting back, but you also understand the issue that got us here in the first place. And the issue that got us here in the first place is that people don't, there's a lack of unity for sure, but you don't only talk about your heritage and how proud you are to be Jewish internally when times are bad. You talk about the importance of being Jewish internally and externally, and to unify also when times are good. And that's what I'm trying to do for 15 years with I'm That Jew, which, as you know, a lot of people think it's a banner campaign, but it actually is based off of a movie that I made many years ago. And it's funny on a personal level to just feel the fact that you get it, and you get it so well. So you actually give me a lot of hope, Yechiel. You really do.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it's, we're not just talking about fun stuff, but it's just really inspiring. And I think you inspire a lot of people, not just because you're funny, it's because of your heart and where you're coming from. And that really shines through. It really, really does.
Thank you.
So I just want to say thank you for everything that you're doing. And on a personal level, I am one of those people that when I'm having a shit day, and I have many, I go to you, I go to a couple of other people, and I watch and I laugh. So thank you for that. And wait, one more thing.
Of course.
Not to put you on the spot, but kind of to put you on the spot, to take your time. Give me like 3 or 4 people that you follow online, that from the Jewish advocates, the Jewish activists that you follow, that you really like and you want to give them props and say why. Not Rappaport, because we already talked about him and we gave him props and he's amazing, and Elon, but like a few other people.
Yeah, so let me think about this, because there's a bunch. I give you a bunch of names, but I want to give
I'm sure.
Because thank God that people have been unbelievable on the.
Yeah, and just because you say
a
few people, it doesn't mean that you don't like a lot more, but just like the ones that rise to the top right now.
So first one that's coming to my mind is Rudy Rahman. Rudy, for me, like I said, you can really see when someone's so genuine and so like goal set. Like Rudy he's a man on a mission, and he's so like, and like nothing will get in his way. That's the vibe that I get from him. And for me, that's like an inspiration for me to see that he's so unapologetic to be Jewish, and he's so proud of who he is, and he knows who he is. And he'll go to like these college campuses where he's surrounded by all these haters and they're yelling at him and screaming at him and like in his face. And he keeps his calm, he keeps his cool, and he keeps his Jewishness like so proudly out there. It's like, so Rudy Rahman right off the bat, big inspiration to me. Montana Tucker, incredible. She's absolutely incredible. She's so like, I know her on a personal level, obviously social media wise, but on a personal level also, she's genuinely bothered about what's going on. And she's like, I have this huge platform, and she has tons to lose from it because she was already massive before this. And she's like, this is what I need to do, and I'm going to go for it. And she had so much to lose, and she didn't care. And because she knows what she's doing is the right thing, and she went for it head on. For me, that's another thing that's very inspirational, and I give a lot of props to that. And I'm a big fan of Montana. And then a third one, I'm just debating between a few.
You can give a fourth. You can give a third and a fourth. That's fine.
I want to say, not to toot your own horn, I promise you I'm not just saying this as a thing. I know it's not a campaign, but the I'm That Jew on social media, the whole ideology behind that for me is amazing. I love that you're bringing to attention that a Jew is not just one person. A Jew is not just one stereotypical thing. There's so many different types of people. There's so many different types of Jews. And especially now but we need people to understand there's so many different types of Jews, and we all need to be together, and we come from the same blood. We're the same people, but there's so many different types of us. That's also an amazing thing. So to have that on social media, so for your page and what you do, and also you as a personality in social media, not just your I'm That Jew thing that you do, just you. I saw videos of you when you did when you went to October 7th, you went to actual Nova Festival, and I remember seeing the video of you just walking, and you were talking about how you were just feeling numb, and you're just being so open and honest about your feelings. So your personality on social media for me is also an inspiration, because you're actually real and you're very genuine. And for me, that's awesome. So I love your stuff as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I didn't know that anyone saw that, because that was a 45-minute thing, and I really I broke down. I think I couldn't breathe on camera when that happened. Well, listen, first of all, I think everyone follow Rudy, follow Montana. I agree with everything that you said about them both. I think that they're wonderful advocates. Elon, Michael, thank you for the compliment, sir. I appreciate it. And everyone who's doing anything. Let's end this with making sure that people know where to follow you, even though it's going to be in the bio on the page. Mm-hmm. So just give us your accounts so that we can be sure. As you stick your leg onto camera, are you wearing shorts?
I'm wearing underwear.
Oh my God. I hope so. I thought for a second
you were... I feel so comfortable around you. I feel so comfy.
You know, I like that you feel comfortable too. You see, I'm not funny. I can't do it.
That was good. That was the opening of that was Donald Trump. You know, that was Donald Trump.
You know. Where do we follow you? Can you do it in a Donald Trump voice or another voice? You know, like how people can follow you. That could be funny.
I can do.
And if it sucks, you can.
I can do the French. You can follow me you can follow my romance, and you will smell it. You will feel my romance in the air, and you can follow it all the way to where I am. And I will take you for dinner, and it will be very, very romantic. Because that is one thing. Or we can do it in German. You can follow me on Instagram at Jacob Yechiel. And if you don't follow my orders, and then you need me to do Spanish, you can follow me on pero you can follow me on TikTok. And then if you want to it's Jacob Yechiel, you know, have a good day, you know, and then YouTube, if you need. On YouTube, you can follow me.
If I don't stop you, you're going to keep going.
And then YouTube, you can follow me, Jacobs. It's all Jacobs Yechiel. Why is it Jacobs Yechiel? Because Yechiel Jacobs was taken on Instagram, and that was my main platform, so I just did the last thing first.
No way. You know, that's the same reason that, you know, I own a branding agency, and my branding agency it's called Natty, and the URL is natty.com. And people always say, why natty.com? And I'm like, well, it's Eitan spelled backwards, and Eitan was taken. It's the same reason.
Yeah.
So listen, man, before we go, big ups to your mother. She's amazing.
Absolutely the best.
And she's done, and your father have done a terrific job. My family, when you came over, my wife, we were just like, when you left, we were like, what a nice guy. What a mensch. You really are great. So just keep doing what you're doing. Stay grounded, stay humble, work hard, and just keep making people laugh because you have got a gift. And thank you so much for coming on to I'm That, the podcast. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Well, that's it. Thank you for joining me on I'm That. I hope you enjoyed the chat, and I hope you'll join me for our next guest. In the meantime, definitely hit subscribe, whether you're on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Google, or any other platform. And if you can, leave a comment, give it a like, and tell your friends. That would be brilliant. Stay tuned for the next show, and see you soon.